members of the cabinet, our elders, young people, but most importantly, you, the bedrock, the members and supporters of the People's Progressive Party, put your hands together for yourselves. Comrade Cheddi once said, and I quote, "Racism is the greatest curse of our land. Anyone who spread racial propaganda must be severely dealt with. Such a person is an enemy to himself and his country." And that is a fundamental principle on which the People's Progressive Party stand. We stand on the principle of national unity, on the principle of the oneness of the Guyanese people. And anyone who deviates from this principle, anyone who seeks to spread racial division is an enemy to the country and an enemy to themselves. This afternoon, comrades, I would like to speak to you on a matter of the soul. Now, I am very conscious of the fact that I'm speaking about matters of the soul in a burial site. But the soul I want to speak of this afternoon is the soul of the country. What constitutes the soul of a country? What are the elements of the soul of a country? Those of us and those of you out there who are religiously inclined will know that the soul has a special place and purpose in life and afterlife. But the soul of the country must also be defined, because it is the soul of the country that will allow us to understand the fundamentals of the country, will allow us to understand what constitutes the value system of the country. And this afternoon, I want us to examine the soul of the country and to make a case that Dr. Cheddi Jagan led a group of persons who put together the soul of the country. The soul of the country was crafted fundamentally by Comrade Cheddi Jagan. And that is what I want to examine today. Just as each of us have a soul, so also does a free, independent, and democratic country. The soul of the free nation, however, is not a bestowed gift. It is a creation, carefully molded, like clay in the hands of a potter. Yes, the soul of the nation had to be carefully molded. The soul of our nation embodies the very essence of what the nation stands for. Its identity, its values, its aspirations. Much like a newborn infant, the soul of a nation requires nurturing and protection to grow and advance. And if the soul of the nation is its identity, its values, and its aspiration, then you will know by now that the People's Progressive Party Civic has consistently stand on a value system that protects the rights of people, that fights for democracy and freedom, that uphold the oppressed, and that lead in the revolution of thinking and advancement of our country. And this is the basis, the fundamentals on which the soul was designed. The soul of this country was designed. And yes, only 4 years ago, we were reminded that the soul of our country, just like a newborn child growing up, the soul can be tested. Only 4 years ago, less than 4 years ago, the evil and dark forces tested the soul of our country once more when they tried to steal the elections once again from the People's Progressive Party. But the soul withstood that test. The soul withstood that test because Dr. Cheddi Jagan Party, the People's Progressive Party, has in it the members, and the Guyana society has in it citizens who are committed to the fundamental values of the soul of our country, and they never allowed the evil and dark forces to tamper with the soul of our country. And that is why, and that is a reminder to us that the soul of our country, though tested, is alive and well. And it is alive and well because the principal foundation on which the soul was developed and derived is alive and well. And that foundation is the People's Progressive Party. We are alive and well. And once the principal foundation on which the soul is derived is alive and well, then our country is in good hands and our country will be alive and well because the protectors of the soul, will do everything in their power and capacity for the upholding of the principal value of the soul. So today, we celebrate what embodies us as a nation. We celebrate and acknowledge one of the key architects who crafted the soul of our nation. And we pay homage to Dr. Cheddi Jagan, who crafted this, who played an instrumental role in crafting the soul. But my dear friends, let us not forget that when the soul of this nation was crafted, it was first crafted to guide us through anti-colonial struggle, the Political Affairs Committee. So when the soul, you remember, the soul of the nation came after colonial rule. We were not a nation during the colonization. Our soul was still being directed from external hands. So the soul, when Comrade Cheddi got together with the Political Affairs Committee, what was the first struggle? The first struggle was to advance Guyana, was to take Guyana out of the hands of colonial rule and to set us on a course of independence and freedom. That was the agenda. And to achieve this agenda, Comrade Cheddi realized that we had to bring together all the forces that constitute nationhood, all the forces that represented that at that time, the willpower of the people. Now the people had the willpower, but there were individuals who were positioned to represent the willpower of the people. And the Political Affairs Committee came into existence so that the soul of this country could have been created, and that is what led us onto the journey of independence. My friends, comrades, but after we achieved this independence, what we saw that the soul that was developed to advance the interests of Guyanese, that was cemented in freedom, and liberty of the Guyanese people was snatched away. It was snatched away by rigged elections. Snatched away by rigged elections. We must never forget this history. But what did Comrade Cheddi do? Comrade Cheddi did not bend backwards. What Comrade Cheddi and the People's Progressive Party did was that they fought back for the soul of Guyana. They fought to retrieve the soul of Guyana. They fought to put back the soul of Guyana on the right track. And in 1992, after 28 years of struggle, the People's Progressive Party Civic won back the soul of Guyana and brought back the freedom, the independence, the decency, the integrity of the people of Guyana. That is the soul. That is the soul that we celebrate today. My friends, this was no easy task. Comrade Cheddi had to fight oppression. Yes, he had to fight oppression. And in those 28 years, there were many who were thought to be the intellectual crafters and architects of Guyana. There were many who were believed to be the voice of the conscience of Guyana. There were many who were led to believe to be better than Comrade Cheddi Jagan and the leadership he was providing. But in the end, all of them, history will record all of them as being part of aiding and abetting the rigged system and the freedom that was taken away from the Guyanese people. Examine each one of them. Just like today, there are many who speak from the platform that they are the consciousness of the society, that they constitute the intellectual elements of the society, that they can provide better leadership than the People's Progressive Party. My friends, examine deeper their motive. Examine deeper what their aspirations are. And you would understand that the struggle then, in a principled manner, is the same struggle today. Because there's still forces out there who believe that the People's Progressive Party does not possess the finesse. We don't have the sophistication to be in government or to lead this country. Maybe we don't wear the right type of suit. Maybe we don't speak the right type of English. But what we do is always, every single day, do what is right for the people of this country. That is our fight. Our fight is for the upliftment of the people of this country. Our fight is for the safety, honor, dignity, democracy, freedom of the people of this country. Our fight is to look the children who came up here, look at them in their eyes and say, never again should you have to fight for democracy, fight for the rule of law, and fight to ensure a government that you voted got into office. That fight must be the fight we cement through institutional mechanism. So the soul of this nation, the soul of freedom, the soul of free and fair election, the soul of human dignity must be safeguarded. And that is the fight of every one of us here. And this fight cannot be won by the leadership alone. This fight requires political consciousness. Comrade Cheddi said that it is only the consciousness of the working class that can lead us to victory. It is only the consciousness of the people of this country that can secure the freedom, the integration, and the unity of this country. You have to decide whether you want to be part of a system where in the PNC, APNU, AFC, their foundational pillar, their foundational and principal pillar, Hamilton Green, who still exists, and let them deny that he is not their foundational pillar, say that the only way for them to ever get in office and remain in office is through rigged elections, and he called upon them to rig elections to stay in office. Those are the enemy of the soul of our nation, and we must destroy the enemy of our soul of our nation. Destroy them by consciousness, destroy them by truth, destroy them by facts, destroy them with hard work in every community, every street, and every home. That is how we destroy them, with the truth, with facts, and with political consciousness. For those of you who go to church, there's a song that you sing, "Stamp the devil to the ground." Oh, weary soul, where has thou conscience gone? Today, on the matter of the soul, let us all commit to our inner soul, to our inner conscience, that we will do everything in our power. We will do everything that we can do to protect what has been crafted for this country, the soul of the country. When you fight for democracy, when you fight for freedom, when you fight for human dignity, when you fight for the workers who 4 years ago were on the breadline, when you fight for the children who 4 years ago were stripped of the Because We Care grant, when you fight for the pensioners who 4 years ago were stripped of their subsidies on electricity and water, when you fight for the farmers who 4 years ago were stripped of their land and land leases, land lease prices and rents were increased upon them, when you fight for the miners who 4 years ago saw 60% of their activity came to a complete end, when you fight for the forestry sector that was dead 4 years ago, when you fight for the Amerindians and indigenous people who lost 2,000 jobs and who are stripped of their presidential grant, when you fight for all of these persons, you are fighting for the soul of our country. You are fighting for the foundation pillar of our country. You are fighting for what makes us a strong society. And that is why the People's Progressive Party will continue to be grateful to every Guyanese, even those who did not support us in the last election, but yet they had the national consciousness to fight for the soul of our country, and they joined us in defense of democracy, and they joined us to ensure. And you know what? Like any good religious leader, when you have the first opportunity to invite new souls, and they get to see what you are about, and they get to experience what you are about, what happens? In the church, they say they win the soul. But in the PPP, we say that the soul has come to a state of consciousness. And today, we are not only the largest national party, we are the fastest growing party anywhere here in Latin America and the Caribbean. And I want us to give a resounding round of applause to all those who have joined us in this moment of consciousness, all those who have joined us in this period when we are taking Guyana taking the soul of our country to higher heights. My friend, today I want us to remember that Dr. Jagan, in fashioning the soul of this nation, spoke about equality, dignity, democracy. Those were foundational elements of the soul. And if you look at what we're doing today, if you examine the policies of the government today, you will see how we are staying true to these foundational elements and principles of the soul of the nation. There was a time in this country when the soul of the nation was so lost that to get an old age pension you had to pass a means test as the first criteria, and the second criteria, you had to have a PNC membership card. And to get food in the line, you had to get a PNC membership card. And if you were in the public service and Congress was coming, you would get a deduction on your pay. And comrades who are in the PNC told us this. You will get a deduction on your pay slip, and you will get a note saying thank you for your contribution. That was how the soul of the country was tested, hijacked. Only recently, we had a reminder about the soul of the nation. When the first thing that occurred, when the then APNUAC government came into office, 7,000 sugar workers sent packing, 2,000 plus Amerindians sent packing, bauxite, thousands of workers sent packing. The soul of the nation was lost for 5 years. It was wandering. Today, the soul of the nation has been recaptured in its full glory of what it was made for. That we now have a Because We Care grant. And any child from any community benefits equally from that Because We Care grant. Our dialysis program, anyone in Guyana requiring dialysis, you get an annual check. Our new program for cervical cancer, any woman, every single woman in this country is entitled to the voucher to get that check. Our old age pension, the only qualification that you're required to do to get is to acquire the age, reach the age. And now so much people reaching the age, them younger ones saying drop the age a little bit now. There was a time when the pensionable age was 60 and life expectancy was 58. They were not even expecting you to live to your pension. Today, we are increasing the pensions. We are giving 1 month bonus pension every year. And guess what? Life expectancy has gone past 71 years. We must never ever believe that these things are experimental or by accident. These things are by carefully crafted policies and programs. And that is how we ensure equality. That is how we ensure equity of access. Today, we are working on programs to put more disposable income back in the pockets of people. Whether it is the part-time employment program, and this is not taking away people from the workforce. These are people who are never in the workforce. Most of them were housewives. We are giving them an opportunity to build their independence and to ensure that they are in a better position to be a part of the transformation. When you look at the part-time program, if you have a low-income loan, through that part-time program, you can repay every month that low-income loan and still have money in your pocket. And yes, we can't do all at once, but something got to be seriously wrong with your conscience if you cannot acknowledge today that life has become tremendously better in the last 4 years in this country. And it has become better for all segments of the Guyanese population. My friends, when we talk about social justice and economic justice as an important part of the soul of the nation, we have to understand how we build social and economic justice. Social and economic justice is not only about pensions or the textbooks or the exercise books or the Because We Care grant or the cash grant. Social and economic justice is about how we build national wealth, how we build community wealth, how we build individual wealth. And how are we doing this? Let me give you a simple example. If you go to a community 4 years ago that had no roads, and today we have roads, a road network in that community, at an average, the value of every property in that community will go up by at least 25%. When that value goes up, what happens? What happens? Your net value as a family goes up. Instead of having a house that 4 years ago was worth $4 million, you now have a house that is worth almost $5.5 million. That is how you build social and economic justice. You invest to transfer value, to create wealth, to transfer wealth. The development we're doing at Palmyra, billions of dollars. What will that do? That will transfer more value to the wealth and assets in this region. New hotels, stadium, private hospitals, the new hospitals we're building in the region. When we build a new canal, the Hope Light Canal, which will start in another 3 months. When we do this, the risk of flooding will reduce by 60% in this region. When the risk of flooding reduces by 60%, the risk for financing your project becomes lower with the bank. And if the risk becomes lower, the access to financing becomes easier. But much more importantly, when the risk to the damage by flooding is reduced, the value of our land increases. So when we build the new road network and the new drainage facility for your lands, we are not only giving you drainage and irrigation for your productive capacity, we are also increasing the value of your land. We are increasing the value of your asset. We are increasing your net worth. And these are important aspects of social and economic justice that we overlook sometimes. When we build new hospitals, when we give your children new schools in this region, Your children now can become a nurse studying right here in this region. Your region has one of the most advanced technical institute in this region with an FPSO simulator, one of only 10 in the world. Your region will have a new hospitality training institute in a new hospital that we are building in New Amsterdam. There will be a partnership with the University of West Indies School of Medicine. Those are the investment we are making so the next generation of young people, your children, will have a far more productive and brighter future in this region. That is social and economic justice. When we invest to create opportunities that will give you a better shot at the future. When we invest in opportunities to grow your household income. When we invest in opportunities to empower you. More than 30,000 scholarship under the Gold Scholarship Program alone. With more than 60% of those are females. Women who never had an opportunity are now having an opportunity under the People's Progressive Party civic government. That is what Comrade Cheddi was talking about when he said that part of the soul of the nation is social and economic justice. Social and economic justice are foundational pillars for health and education justice, for social infrastructure justice, and we have stayed strong and committed to this aspect of the soul of the nation. My friends, when you speak about democracy, I just want you to take a quiet moment and look at all those who are talking now. They go with ease on social media or the letters column, and they can cuss any leader of the PPP. They can tell us what they want, and they can say what they want. Not so long ago, 4 years ago, for 5 years, these very people were afraid to say, They were afraid to say, Their mouth went somewhere else. But guess what? This is another example of the soul of the nation. When you have that freedom to say whatever you want to say under the People's Progressive Party civic government. But make no mistake, we have the freedom to respond also. This time, not a long time. The counter force will be equal and superior to the force you bring to us. And our General Secretary has been leading. Nowadays, I went to a community and they say we can't wait for Lucky Thursday. So I said, why you call it Lucky Thursday? They say, who ain't get last lucky? But what Lucky Thursday is about, it's about building the political consciousness of the people. And that is why they will attack the General Secretary morning, noon, and night. Because they're afraid. They're afraid whenever the political consciousness of the people is uplifted, they become afraid. Because they know once your political consciousness is uplifted, you will be conscious about every decision you make. So they will call you all kinds of names. Bad. I want to know how you know he's strong. Be careful, we're speaking about matter of the soul. And next day we're gonna address matters of the heart. So comrades, on every Thursday, and it's not an easy task, the political leader of the party takes time to explain the truth and the facts so that never again can lies and betrayal form the basis on which the Guyanese people make decisions. We went through this over and over again. When we were in government to build the Marriott, they said the Marriott was corrupt. And when they come into office, they will turn it into a hospital. The only thing they did when they came into office was to eat breakfast every morning at the Marriott. And Sira say he know they eat lunch and dinner too. He got a bill. Comrades, what are they doing again today? Every single, you look at it. Today, if it wasn't for these people, we would have already cut the price of electricity by half with our Miles Falls Hydro project. You check it. How many years since then? 5. 2017, that's 3. 7 years. If you pay like bill, 10,000 per month, 60,000 per year, 7 years. So you know what? If your light bill was at a minimum of $10,000 per month, they took away from you because they killed that project almost $500,000. If your light bill was $100,000, they took away from you almost $4.5 million by killing that project. Can you imagine? An investor coming in to spend more than $300 million US. An investment that is critically needed. Yesterday, a group came to me from the US and they want Guyana to be the host country for their national symposium. And I asked them, what is it we need to do? They said we have to have one facility that can take off 1,000 persons, with conference facility, ballroom facility, rooms. You check if you have 1,000 people in your country and each one of them spends $500 US, what it means to the ordinary people, what it means to the shops, the taxi service. But again, we see the very forces at work. Every time we try to make big steps, big moves, what do we see? The same forces at work. And I want to warn you, this is not going to get easier. There is something called AI. And they will deploy it. They will deploy it. They will make the General Secretary voice, Sham Nokta voice, Sulfi voice, sung exactly like them. And by the time you dispel that falsehood, they will have influenced minds. The only thing that can beat AI is knowledge and consciousness. And the only way you can get knowledge is by seeking it from the right source. That is why all of you, all of our activists, you now have to empower yourselves with the truth. And let me say this, we are not asking you to spread propaganda and falsehood. All we are asking you to do is to tell the truth. You know, they will write whole day about 4 pump stations not completed 3 years. But they would not say that those contractors will be under penalty and that they will have to pay liquidated damages. They will not say that the ministry will take action against them. They will want to make it look to suit their objective that this is a corrupt act. No one who break the law or who do not fulfill their contractual obligation to this country will be allowed to do so. We have made it very clear to all the PSs, all the ministers, that the law must take precedent, and wherever liquidated damages must be charged, it will be charged. We don't hide from the facts. Yes, there are delays on some of the contracts, not because of the government. You examine the supply chain crisis. 2 years of COVID. 2 years of COVID. All of this people forget, you know. You forget that in 4 years, this government that has delivered so much to you, in 4 years, we had to overcome COVID for 2 years. We had to overcome 3 major floods. We have to overcome some of our worst national disasters. We had to overcome the worst food crisis in the world. We had to overcome one of the worst droughts. And 5 months of hardship. We forget this too. I say today, in closing, that the political consciousness of our people is a critical part of the soul of our country. And all of us together, we have a duty. One of the beautiful things about the party, one of the things that I admire greatly, and the General Secretary and I, we speak about this all the time, is the number of young people that are coming to us. And they're coming to us because they see hope. They see an opportunity to be part of something good for Guyana. They see us as that national unified force that can do what is right for Guyana. I close by saying that this government, this People's Progressive Party civic government, we are committed to doing every day what is right for Guyana and what is best in the interests of the Guyanese people. I thank you and God bless you.